Hi everyone, it's Mora Atara. Let's start right now by starting the first Mishnah we're going to learn right this year. Let's start with the first part of the Mishnah. What Mishnah will we be learning? We will be learning Seder Zra'im. If you remember, we talked about the Starim in the acronym of Zman Nakat. Well, Zra'im is the first one, the Zayin. We'll be learning Masechet Brachot, which is the first Masechet in Zra'im. We're going to start with Parak Aleph, Mishnah Aleph, and here is going to be the first part of the Mishnah. As many of you know, we daven 3 times a day. We're not up to in 5th grade yet, davening all these times yet, but grown men and grown women daven 3 times a day. Shacharit, Mincha, and Mariv. We have a mitzvah to daven 3 times a day. Now, each tefillah is structured very differently. In Shacharit, you guys know what we say. We say lots of different tefillot. In Mincha, there's many less tefillot. It's basically Ashrei, Shemona Esrei, and Aleinu. And in Mariv, we say the brachot of Kriyat Shema, Shema, Shemona Esrei, and Aleinu. So if you see what's in common of both of these two, in both of these we say Shema. We do not say Shema in Mincha. We say Shema in Shacharit. We say Shema in Mariv. Our Mishnah is going to discuss the earliest and latest time to say Shema, the Mariv Shema. What time of day? Let's say I come home because I was at a bar mitzvah really late and I realized I didn't daven Mariv. I didn't say Shema at night. Can I say it at 2 in the morning? Or I realize I'm going out. I have a meeting for work at night. Am I allowed to say Mariv at 4 o'clock? Because that's the last time I'm going to be home before I get home and it's going to be the middle of the night before I drive home. That is what our Mishnah is going to explore right now. Now, we talked about what a machloket is. A machloket is an argument. We're going to see in the Mishnah that the earliest time that we can daven Shema at night, there's no argument about this. Everyone agrees. There's only one opinion. But the latest time that one can daven Shema at night in Mariv, there's going to be 3 opinions. There's going to be a machloket about what time we're allowed to say Shema until. Let's begin learning the earliest time to say Shema right now. This is the sheet you'll have in class when we go over the Mishnah on Wednesday. For right now, just look at the sheet. The Mishnah says, Me'ematai kor'in et Shema ba'aravit. From when can we read Shema in Mariv, in Aravit? Aravit is the same as Mariv. From what time? Look at the word in it, Erev. What time can I say Shema at night? What's the earliest time I can do that? The Mishnah says, everyone agrees, the earliest time is Misha'a, from the time Shehakohanim nichnasin le'echol b'trumatan. From the time the Kohanim go and are allowed to eat their truma. We're going to discuss in class what this means. This time is really a code word for Tzeit HaKochavim. The Gemara kind of writes it in a little bit of giving us a hint to what time. What's the earliest time? Everyone agrees. There's only one opinion here. What is the time that we have to say that we can start saying Shema? The earliest, Misha'a, from the time that the Kohanim can eat their truma. We're going to discuss tomorrow what that means. The earliest time is Tzeit HaKochavim. So if I have a meeting and the meeting starts at 2 o'clock and I'm nervous I'm not going to say Shema afterwards, can I say it at 2 o'clock? Would 2 o'clock be Tzeit HaKochavim? No, it wouldn't be. I have to say it after Tzeit HaKochavim, which of course, as we know, could depend on the day. The next, that is the only opinion for the earliest time. Now let's look at the latest time. Here we have the earliest time of Tzeit HaKochavim. Now let's look at the latest time. The latest time says, opinion, the first opinion is Ad Sof HaEshmura HaRishona, until the first third of the hour until the first third of the night is over. We spoke about in class today how the night is divided into 3 parts. So until a third of the night is over, until 4 hours into the night. On a 6 to 6 day, we could figure out what that is. But remember, when the day is not a perfect day, it may be more complicated to figure out. But we know 3 hours into the night. On a 6 to 6 day, that would be 10 o'clock at night. The first Ashmura is in between the hours of 6 to 10 p.m. So the latest we would be able to say it would be 10 p.m. This is Divrei Rabbi Eliezer. What we just said is the opinion of Rabbi Eliezer. That was opinion number 1. Now let's look at opinion number 2. Opinion number 2 is the opinion of the Chachamim. The Chachamim say the following. The Chachamim Omrim Ad Chatzot. Pretty simple. Are they talking about Chatzot Hayom here or Chatzot Halayla? Now, from context, we know that we're talking about Shema Ba'erev, so it must mean that they're talking about Chatzot Halayla. You can say Shema until Chatzot Halayla. Rabban Gamliel then says, the third opinion, Rabban Gamliel Omer, Ad Sheya'aleh Amud HaShachar. Amud HaShachar is the same time as Alot HaShachar. Rabbi Gamliel says, you have all the time in the world. You have all the way until sunrise the next day. You come home from a bar mitzvah at 3 in the morning. You come home from a wedding. You come home from a meeting at 4 in the morning, or you're taking a late flight and the time difference. You have all the way until Alot HaShachar, Amud HaShachar. All the way until Alot HaShachar to say Shema of the Erev. Just to review a little bit what we did, remember we're starting right now Seder Zra'im. We're starting Masechet Brachot. We're starting Parak Aleph, Mishnah Aleph. The Mishnah is describing it. We need to say 2 times during the day. We need to say Shema at Shacharit. We need to say Shema at Aravi, as what we call Mariv, at night. And what do we need to do? We need to know. We need to find out what's the earliest and latest time we can say it. This Mishnah is going to describe the earliest and latest time that we can say Shema of Aravi, of Mariv, the nighttime Shema. Looking back at this page for a second, we see everyone agrees the earliest time that we can say it is Seit HaKochavim. What's the latest time that we can say it? We have a machloket. We have 3 opinions here. We have one opinion that says we have from 6, we can say it starting at Seit HaKochavim all the way until the end of the first Ashmura. That is the opinion of Rabbi Eliezer. We then have the opinion of the Chachamim, and the Chachamim say you have until Chatzot. The last opinion is the opinion of Rabban Gamliel. And what does Rabban Gamliel say? You have until Alot HaShachar. I want you to think about these different times. These different times are very different. One says in a perfect day we have till 10 p.m. Perfect day we have till 12 p.m., 12 a.m. The next one says on a perfect day you have until 6 a.m. of the next day. Please answer the questions on the Google Doc.